Welcome to BIBO Weekly's Winner's Circle, where winning is always a part of the conversation. I'm Tracy S. Campbell, I'm your host, and we are back for another great week, everybody, here in the Winner's Circle, because of course, every week, our mission is to give you advice, information, motivation, all that great stuff so that you can be a winner in whatever it is that you purpose to do. And today is no exception. Now, of course, we're going to give you information later in the show where you can connect more directly with us here at BIBO and with our amazing guests. Now, today, I'm in for a treat. You're in for a treat because we have two people, not just one, two people representing an amazing brand called The Transition. And yes, they're in the business of branding, folks. And that's going to be the conversation today because branding is so important to whatever it is that you're doing these days. And so we wanted to take this opportunity to bring two people who know a little bit about branding and rebranding. If that's where you're at, please join me in welcoming Danielle and Cardell of The Transition. Hey guys, welcome to the Winner's Circle.
Hi.
Glad to have you here. And did that happen by design, Danielle, Cardell? Danielle,
you know what? It's crazy how that works, right? It's so crazy. It's almost like we planned that. We didn't.
It seems like it. It seems like I love it. I love it. Well, I'm going to give each of you just a couple quick minutes to introduce yourselves. Tell this amazing audience a little bit about yourself and what The Transition does, because it's a great organization.
Great brand. Yes, I agree there, but no, of course. I'm Danielle, co-founder of The Transition, Digitally Evolving. We started in 2019 and it really started as a passion for both me and Cardell. I have a background in journalism. So I went to school for journalism, and that's kind of my wheelhouse of the whole PR and all that marketing aspect of that. Cardell, I will let him introduce himself, but he has a background in marketing, and we call ourselves the best of both worlds. I'm the journalism, and I will let the marketing side, Cardell, introduce himself.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Danielle. And yes, we're going to ping it to you, Cardell.
All right, so my name is Cardell Davis, as everybody has said. So I have a background in marketing. That's what I went to school for. And so, like Danielle said, we're the best of both worlds because she has a journalism side where it's more of getting yourself out there. And then when I have the marketing side of figuring out what your brand really needs. So you don't have to look any further because you have the best of both worlds all in one company. And me and Danielle, we have started this business back in 2019. It's just funny how you said the names rhyme. Me and Danielle, when we first started this business, we did not even know each other. It was just really a thing that we said, we both got skills. Let's put our skills together and let's make a business. And that is how The Transition literally formed, was just by us just having some ideas and putting them together and making things happen.
Well, you two definitely made some things happen. So glad that you guys met, came together, even with the rhyming names. I think it was just meant. And now we have The Transition, helping people with their branding or rebranding. So we're going to jump right into it, everyone, because I know that you are ready to get some really good, actionable, I use that word every week, actionable advice and information. So right about now, it's time for you to get out that notepad, notebook, iPad, whatever you use to start taking some great notes. So Danielle and Cardell, a lot of folks are watching us right now, and they either have an existing business or passion project or nonprofit or something similar, or they really want to take this year as the launch pad to pursue that business or that mission or nonprofit. That being the case, what if someone is watching us right now and they are brand new to branding? They're brand new to their business, or they are taking their business to the next level and they realize that they need to get out there and they need to learn about this thing called branding. What are at least three things that they can do if they're brand new to branding? I'll start with you, Danielle.
If you're brand new, one thing you need to do is make sure your name is available. That's the first thing. You don't want to start branding. You don't want to start marketing anything that someone has already claimed or they already have a license to. So step one, check the name, quick search with your Secretary of State. You can do a quick search on the USPTO website just to make sure that name is not taken. Once you have cleared that stage, then you can move to the next step of building your business plan. And what that will, I guess, include would be, one, your name that's now available because you checked. And then you want to put in there, okay, where do I want this to go? Where do I see it going? If you want it to be within your state, check the Secretary of State. If you want to go nationwide, write that in your plan. How do you want to brand nationwide? How do you see your brand expanding? So in your plan, you want to make sure you also include, how am I going to tell people about my product? It's funny how we meet a lot of clients and they say, I have this great idea, I have this vision, but I don't really know who my audience is. I just know I want to sell something to them. So you want to make sure while you're in the process of creating your business plan that you are establishing, who is my target audience? Who do I want to buy my product? That way you will understand how you are going to market to that audience, because you don't want to market to everyone, because we say marketing to everyone is marketing to no one. So you want to be strategic about your marketing, and being strategic means you know exactly who you are targeting.
I love it. Fantastic. So first, we absolutely have to make sure that whatever name you come up with, folks, you may fall in love with this name. You may absolutely want this name, but if it's already taken, that's not going to do you any good. So that's the first thing. And I love what you said, Danielle, about marketing to everyone is marketing to no one. So we want to be very specific with our audience. We really want to know what that audience thinks, how they breathe, if you will. We want to know everything about that audience.
We want to know everything.
Exactly, everything, because we want you to stand out, folks, and we want the audience that you're trying to get to love you as well. Absolutely. Cardell, did you want to add to that in terms of actionable, and we use that word a lot here in the Winner's Circle, actionable things that someone can do if they're just brand new to this area of branding?
It's just, my thing is, I would want to say for a person starting off new is making sure that you have all your licenses, because that is a major key when you're starting off your brand, that you need to make sure that you have your, if it's a city license, a county license, whatever you need to have to start your business, make sure you start it off right, because you don't want to get along the way of not, like Daniel said, of secure, making sure that the name is available, because you can still go, people sometimes still go out there and do a business, but they don't even put a license on it. Because as soon as you get that license on it, nobody else can take that, because you have actually paid the money and you have basically, in a way, secured your brand. So that's just one thing of just making sure that you are a legal business before you even go even further with your business, because we don't want to miss that key, because missing that key component can really mess up everything that you done invested in. You could put money and all these different things in it, but if you don't secure it, you really don't even have anything at the end of the day.
And that's really key. I know we had a conversation with someone previously, and we talked about business licenses and the importance, because a lot of people start in their home. They start right at their kitchen table or some other table in the house, right? And they may even be profitable. They may actually be actively selling, if you will, and actively generating revenue. But according to you, Danielle and Cardell, that's great, but it doesn't make for a real business. Is that what we're saying?
Yes, because
exactly.
Just like, for instance, if somebody is doing a food business and if you don't have the proper sort of licensing, or you're not going through the health department or whatever the case might be, and you're out here selling all this food, they can literally shut your business down, and then you have to start something completely new, or they may not even allow you to even do it again because you didn't take the proper precautions to make sure that you were in line of what your business and your brand is really trying to do.
Okay. I love it. And everyone, again, I hope you're taking great notes, because a lot of you out there I know are brand new to this whole arena. And hopefully tonight you're going to get some information on what you need to do and the things you shouldn't do, i.e. starting a business without a business license. We want to make sure you start the right way. So Cardell, Danielle, what I would like to do is kind of set the stage for 3 different types of individuals, because I think one or all 3 of them may be watching us right now. Those that are brand new to branding, which we just talked a little bit about. Those that are, well, maybe they've been out there a while. Maybe their business has been out there a while, but they're stagnant right now. They've hit a brick wall, if you will. And then those who have been out there, maybe they're expanding. Maybe they've taken on some new partners or whatever the case may be, and now they need to rebrand. Okay, so we want to talk about all of those various categories that fall under branding. Now, we talked a little bit about someone just starting out and what they can do, brand new to this whole arena. So let's kind of shift gears and talk about the individual that's been out there a while with their business or their nonprofit or their passion project, as I like to say, and they're hitting a brick wall. They're not getting forward momentum. What can they do to their brand or for their brand to maybe move forward and get over that plateau? And I'll start with you, Danielle.
I would say if you are established and you're saying to yourself, I want to go do something new with my brand, I would say, look at what you have and let's see how we can enhance that. If you're already established, you probably already have a logo. Look at your logo, see how you can enhance it, not change it, because you don't want to totally change your image, because we're not talking to the rebranding audience yet, but you want to just enhance it. Look at ways you can enhance it. And that's what you would say to your marketing team. Hey, I have this logo, but I feel like I want it to look a bit different. I want it to come up to the 2022 status. I got this logo in 2000. I'm trying to enhance it. I want to keep up with the times. And you can do little changes like that. You don't have to do a complete overhaul of your logo, but there are certainly some ways that you can enhance it, whether it's changing the color or just changing, if it's an image, we can change the image and make it more modern. I mean, look at images like Chuck E. Cheese. It doesn't look the same as it did when it first started. There are ways to enhance your brand. I mean, you have just very established brands now who have done that. And it's not a bad thing that you're changing your logo. It's just you saying, I understand that this is a new year and I want to keep my brand up to date. And it shows that your brand is evolving when you take that step to enhance what you already have, instead of just totally looking for something new. Because I think that's what people, when they're stagnant, they always want to go, what can I do new? What can I get that's new? And It's not always about getting something new. Sometimes it's just about taking what you have and just breathing new life into what you already have.
I love it. Now, you mentioned the logo, and I know that when it comes to branding, it's probably a little bit more than just the logo, but you're right. Most folks start with their logo, their visual representation of their company or their project or what have you. Other than the logo, and again, we're talking about the person right now that's hit a brick wall. They already have a logo, they already have a business, but it's just not moving forward right now. In addition to the logo, are there any other areas where they can enhance, we'll use that word, what they already have? And I'm going to ping it to you, Cardell. Anything else that we can do? We've talked about jazzing up that logo. Is there anything else they can do to their brand?
Yes, one thing that they can do for their brand is that it's two different levels of marketing. You have internal marketing and then you have external marketing. And what external marketing is like you have your website. You can refresh your website. You can put out more professional flyers to reach that audience that you're trying to reach. Or you can even maybe put out different flyers that you're trying to go out to different events, different things of that nature. But one thing I feel like people always miss is the internal marketing, because internal marketing, I would kind of categorize that as your customer service. How are you treating the people that come into your business? Because that is how your business is marketed. If people hear bad, you go into a place and somebody treats you bad, that person is not more than likely going to come back. Because one thing that I learned in school was they say bad news always travels faster than good news. So you go into a business and you talk and the person's talking crazy to you, you're not going to go more than likely come back to that business because the way that you were treated. Then now you're writing reviews. Now you're going through all these different type of things, and now you don't even want to go back. So it doesn't matter all the external marketing that you're doing if it has to all be cohesive. All of your levels of marketing have to be able and actionable enough that they all work together. Because if one thing is out of line, it can really be drastic to your business. And even the servicescape, because the servicescape is a major thing as well, because servicescape is when you go into a business. What does that business look like? How does that business feel? Because we all do that. I know I am very guilty of that. And my mama tell me all the time, that is something that you don't need to do. She said, those places that look like a hole in the wall, they have the best food. But I would really need them to go in there, get their food and bring it out to me. But for me to literally go in there and go and get it, because I'm looking at it as the totality of the business.
Right.
The building may look a little run down. So are they really in there clean? Are they not clean? So you have to put all of those different aspects into it, because people, that is still part of your marketing, how you are presenting, the packaging, how is everything looking. If you don't fix those things and your external is fixed perfectly, then it's not a balance. So you basically just have to balance those two to make it work for you. And then if it's still not working, then we have to really go back and readdress and really analyze, what do we need to fix and what don't we need to fix.
I love it. So internal marketing and external marketing. And I'm pretty sure a lot of folks that are watching right now had no clue, maybe have never even heard of marketing expressed in that fashion, the internal and the external. And most of us are, of course, concerned about the external. How do we look in terms of our logo and the colors and all those things? But you're right. If you have a brick and mortar business, everyone, even if you don't have a brick and mortar business, customer service can be virtual nowadays. Oftentimes it is virtual nowadays. And the process by which someone can get help if they need it through your business, if it's cumbersome, if it's complicated, if the person has a bad attitude, all those things are going to damage your what? Your brand. So again, I hope you're taking some great notes here. So now we've talked about the person who's brand new to branding. We've given them some things to start with. We've talked about the person that is already out there. They've hit a brick wall. We've given them some ideas of ways in which they can revitalize their brand, their image. So now let's talk about the entity or the person that's been out there for quite a while. And for whatever reason, they are in the need of rebranding. Maybe they had some bad press out there. Maybe something happened in their organization or with a key person in their organization, and now they have to get over that stigma. Or maybe they've had some really major changes at the top, if you will, and now they really need to rebrand and realign. What can that person or that business do? And this time I'll start with you, Cardell.
One thing that I feel like what they can do is think about McDonald's. McDonald's did a whole change of how all their restaurants went. They took away the ball pit. They took away all the fun, friendly, family type of atmosphere to give you something that is more modernized. So you have to look at it. They didn't change the logo. They did not change any of their social medias or anything like that. All they did was just enhance it. So it's not so much as a total rebrand, but just enhancing what you already have. Because people, like you say, when people see a whole rebrand, you're changing logos, you're changing this. Now they're trying to figure out what happened. What did they do? What did they do wrong? Like, did they make somebody sick? Do I need to go back? Do I not need to go back? So don't put the people in a panic. Because the main thing is you just want to change and enhance what you're doing to add a benefit to your customers. Because now when you go into a McDonald's, it does give you that better homey type feel. It feels more of like a cafe than it does a kid place. So now people can actually go into a McDonald's now to do business and do different things of that nature, because it gives you all of that flexibility. So I think that's one major thing, is just enhancing, not so much as rebranding, because when you rebrand, sometimes that triggers things in people like, why should I go back? Because why are they rebranding? And then if you go and rebrand and you're changing like the your social media handle names, all those consistent customers that you had at first, they were not aware of it. So, but if you do a rebrand, be proactive to let your customers know, hey, this is what's happening. The transparency will make them feel even more comfortable with what's happening, because now they know that they can trust you even more because you're walking them through the process. Because it's kind of crazy to say this, but I want to say it. When it comes to marketing, it's like little kids. You have to walk them through the process. You just can't drastically pull them out of a situation and then just expect for them just to take what you gave them. You have to take the time to explain, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it, to give you a better experience. And once you tell them that, now they're able to understand what's happening, what's going on. And now they're going to start catching on to what's happening versus just thinking like, oh, wow, no, it's something going wrong. I don't need to go there no more. Because that's where people's mindset goes, is far left of where it should just be, hey, it's okay. We're just doing some facelift. That's all we're doing.
That's all we're doing, a facelift. I like the facelift to the business. Exactly. And you said something so key. Rebranding may not be the answer. We may be getting rebranding folks confused with what we said with the second scenario, which is just enhancing. expanding, maybe modernizing it a little bit. And you're absolutely right, Cardell. When you go into McDonald's nowadays, it looks really close to a Starbucks. I mean, it almost has that same kind of very modern feel where you can just sit and have a meeting. You can drink your coffee, or in the case of McDonald's, eat your fries, whatever it is that you do, folks. But you can sit there and you can feel that you're not in kiddie land anymore, right? So McDonald's did a rebrand, if you will, but it worked because, to your point, Cardell, they kind of walked us through this transition. It wasn't just abrupt. We saw changes coming gradually, even their commercials started. It was a gradual transition from this kiddie-like environment to something that's a little bit more sophisticated. So I'm going to ask then, is there a scenario where a total rebrand is warranted? Because someone may be scratching their head now and saying, well, I'm confused. When should I rebrand, or when should I just enhance? And I'm going to ping it to you, Danielle.
If you are, I would say you need to rebrand if you are, as you mentioned earlier, if there's someone who a CEO left and it gave your company a bad name, that's a case where you want to rebrand because you're trying to detach from the bad press. You don't want the negative press, so you want to rebrand. Like that's one of those situations where you want to rebrand. Okay. Another case you want to rebrand is going back to the first point. If you find out that you have done all this marketing, you have established this business, but then there was someone who was before you and you didn't search that name. So they're now coming to you and say, hey, that was my name first, and now you have to change your name. That is a case where you have to rebrand. So what do you do at that point? And it goes back to what Cardell was saying with the McDonald's example of how they just enhanced what they already had. In this essence, you would go back and you want to get out in front of and be personable, which will lead to more interviews, like showing your face more. So that's another actionable thing that you can do. You can get out there, and even if it's talking to your neighborhood newspaper, if it's going to the local TV station, you want to get your face out there and say, hey, this is my brand, new management in a sense. And we're not attached to this anymore. We are not attached to this bad press. And this is what we are now. We are reestablishing ourselves. So that's one of those things that you would have to rebrand if you are attached to bad press, because you don't want bad press. I know the saying is all press is good press. However, you do not want your name attached to any bad press, because as we said earlier, words travel fast. Bad news travels fast. You don't want bad news on your brand. So you want to detach from that. If that is the case, then that you would want to rebrand.
Okay, I thank you for clearing that up, because yes, we've all heard that, all exposure is good exposure. All press is great press. And maybe that's true on some level. I don't know, but I wholeheartedly agree with you, Danielle. I would side on the aspect of, well, I want my press to be positive. I want my press to be good. 100%. And if that means I have to put myself out there and come across more authentic, come across as more relatable, and to Cardell's point, being transparent sometimes is good. And I know a lot of people struggle with that, but sometimes you have to be in order to keep your audience connected. So I love it. You guys have given us some great actionable things that we can do, everyone. If you are struggling with your brand, your current brand, if you're just starting out and you're trying to create a brand, well, take this advice to heart, please. And if you're a little further down the road and you feel that you have to rebrand, really assess that, really assess whether or not it's a rebranding or an enhancement to what you already have. Now, switching gears really quickly, you two are also in the business, not only of helping folks brand correctly, but also digital marketing. And I know we're getting near that time, but can you share with us a little bit about what you guys do in the realm of digital marketing to help clients? And I'll ping it to you, Cardell.
So one thing that we do for the digital marketing aspect is that we create a basis for our clients. We want them to understand how social media can help them. So that's by creating flyers that are eye-catching, that we're actually making content that is relatable to what you're doing. Because one thing when it comes to marketing, or like how Danielle is in journalism, you always have to know how to control the narrative.
Right.
So for your business, we have to know as a marketing agency, what is the voice of your business? What do you want to convey to your audience to make them want to watch, make them be informed of what you do? Because you have to post meaningfully. You just can't post just to post. So that's the one thing that me and Danielle do. We sit down, we strategize. What do we feel like is the best thing for our client? What will be the best thing to do? Is it a video? Because it's so many different trends with social media. It's a lot to keep up with because it's always steady, evolving and changing. And we just have to keep up with the times. So just being able to really sit down and say what works for your business and how we can enhance that by getting the right information out there, putting the right message with the post, because there's levels to it. You can make a post, but what is the caption that's going with that post?
Right.
So, because you got to catch me at every single thing. And one thing is, the people are always going to look at the benefit of it all. When they watch a video, they want to laugh, they want to cry, or they want to do something else. So you want to hit all those emotional, impactful things. You want to hit those pressure points that people are dealing with to actually want them to engage and be involved. Because like one of our clients, it deals with food. So everything that we got to do, we got to say, hey, the food is coming. We take photos and put posts together so people can see the food. Because once you see it, now you can just imagine yourself eating it. And it's just like with another client that does like financial stuff. So we take posts and videos that has good information and we put it out there so people can be like, wow, I didn't know that. So they can be more knowledgeable, because that is why people use social media, to be more knowledgeable, to laugh, to get to everything that they need.
Wonderful. Love it. Love it. Danielle, is there anything that you want to add to that awesome breakdown that Cardell just gave us in terms of digital marketing, especially social media?
I would say the one thing you want to do with social media is, one, stay on top of it and have social media. So many businesses even now don't have social media. And I would reference the past 2 years, the world shut down and everyone went virtually. So you want to make sure that you're ready and you're established, and you have to get ready when the world shut down. There were so many businesses that they had to rebrand, or they had to look back and say, what can I do with my marketing? Because they weren't already established on their digital platform. So
Right.
I will say digital marketing, you need to have it. Even if you don't understand it, at least secure your name on it so that you are ready to just start when it takes off, because you don't want to be in a situation where the world shut down and you can't reach your customers. Digital marketing gives you that direct contact with your customers. There's so many people who have a phone right there at their fingertips, and you can easily respond to them. So you would want to have your brand out there where everyone else is.
And is digital marketing solely social media? And I know we don't have a whole lot of time to probably delve into all the various layers of digital marketing, if you will, but is it mostly social media? Are there other aspects of digital marketing that someone watching this right now may take down some quick notes and go investigate? What are some other aspects of digital marketing that someone should know about?
It's your social media platforms, it's your website, it's Popple. If you heard of Popple, it's when people just bump into your phone. It's the QR codes, and you watching the news and you see, hey, scan this QR code. That's digital marketing, because they're trying to get to your immediate, like, in your eyes. They want to be right there. So they want to be on your phone. Anything with quick access, that's the digital marketing aspect.
Love it, everyone. Well, as you can see, we literally just scratched the surface with these two, but as you can see, Cardell and Danielle, my rhyming two here, Cardell and Danielle have a lot of information, and they truly can help you start your branding journey. And we're all on the branding journey, but just recognize that we're all a walking and living brand nowadays. Danielle, Cardell, how can someone connect more directly with you if they've enjoyed this conversation we're having?
Definitely go to our website, transitioningyou.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Digitally Evolving on both platforms. They're both the same. That's another thing. Key tip right there for free. And you can find us. We're always on Facebook, always on Instagram, and we're always online.
Fantastic. And everyone, of course, you can connect with us here at the World of BIBO.com. That's World of BIBO.com. We've been around since 2013, helping to support, educate, edify, and empower women, especially small business owners and entrepreneurs, head over to our website as well. We would love to see you, love to have you over there and welcome you into the BIBO family. Well, that's it for this week's Winner's Circle. Yes, we're going to be back next week with more actionable advice and information and motivation so that you can always be on the winning side of the conversation. In the meantime, take care, stay safe, most of all, stay blessed. See you next week.